Alright, Lab 14. Now if you notice here, Lab 14, we have public class swimmer. Now so far, you've seen that lots of times. We have public class athlete, robot, climber, racer, extends robot, and again you've seen this with extends athlete, extends robot, extends climber, and such. But now here in Lab 14, we have a new purple word here called implements runnable. And what this does is, taking a look here at public class lab 14, as you can see the main, we don't have the robots like we normally have them. We have swimmer equals new swimmer, and this comes back to our swimmer class here that we're going to write, or you're going to write. So we're declaring swimmer here. We're giving it a name, new swimmer, and then a starting place on the x-axis. Now, that should all be pretty familiar to you. However, the rest of this main looks really strange because of what we've done of implementing runnable. Now, what runnable does is runnable gives us the ability to have more than one robot moving simultaneously. More than one robot moving at the same time. And it is a combination of multiple things here that have to be included in your program in order for this to function properly. So the first thing is we have to we have to implement runnable. Now the second piece to this is this thread. Because what this is saying here, thread, if you think about threads, thread is one thing, another thing, a third thing, a fourth thing, and this is going to give us the ability to have multiple objects, in this case our robots, moving simultaneously. So we create a thread, which is a Java class. So we're going to use that. We're going to call it T1, T2, T3, T4 for now. Yes, you can make it other names if you want. New thread, and then as we have done multiple times already, we are going to send our object, in this case our swimmer objects, into thread. So Java is going to say, okay, I've got runnable, I've got my thread, now I have my objects that have been fed into my thread. Now I need one more piece. And what I need is to start. And the start is an actual piece of Java that you have to use to put all of this together and actually make it run. So we're going to use our now thread objects, and we're going to call the start command. And the start command is here in the swimmer class. Okay, so we've got public swimmer, and then we're going to have public void run. Now notice that we have a constructor here, but we're not going to swim. The run and the start work simultaneously. They have to both be here in order for this to actually run. And what's going to happen here, what you're going to do is, in this lab, you are going to make 4 robots swim 8 laps simultaneously. And all of that code is going to be right here inside of public void run. So back up here. Again, going back over this a little bit more here, implementing runnable is important because a thread constructor requires a runnable object as its argument. Alright, so implementing runnable, and then we used swimmer because we implemented runnable. It made these guys runnable objects, and the thread piece needs a runnable object to be placed in its argument. And it says here the thread is a built-in class, and every thread has a start method that takes care of all the details. So you don't have to worry about taking care of all these details because it's already built into Java. And again, we're going to be running 4 different processes. Basically, 4 robots are going to be running simultaneously. Alright, so synchronized swimming is Lab 14. So a little bit of background here. So the runnable is built in, and it specifies a single abstract method. And we'll get into abstract methods more in Lab 15. They were actually, I think, in Lab 11 or 12, but since we didn't do 11 or 12, we're not going to worry about that yet. So again, a thread constructor requires a runnable object. Every thread object has a start, which we have up in our main, and that runs run. So when we say t1.start, it is looking for whichever object you have. In this case, we're doing a swimmer. It is looking for a public void run in the resource class. If that run is not there, if you call it something else, Java will give you an error until you fix it. So, and that's all that we have to do. And once you fill in here what run is going to do, then it's really just it's gonna be kind of cool to see the 4 robots moving simultaneously. Another important piece here. A Java class may implement as many interfaces, but you can only extend one class. So I can't keep doing this over and over. I can have my one class, I can extend it, and then I can implement something, in this case runnable, which is nice because it allows me to actually extend it 2 times. So I extend robot, so I get all of robot's methods like we've been doing all year, and then when we implement runnable, I now get all of runnable's methods and functionality into my object. In this case, I get all of that into swimmer. So what we're going to do here is we're going to create this and run swimmer with map. I don't see which map we're going to use here. Alright, hold on 1 second. Alright, I had to go looking for the map because I didn't know which map it was, and it didn't occur to me when I was looking at the main here. There is no map specified, so we are actually going to use the default map on this one, and that's going to be fine. So what run is going to do here is very simple. You are going to swim 8 laps. So essentially, if you think of the default map, you're going to make a map here 10 by 10, and you're going to go from one end to the other end, turn around, and come back, and that is a lap. And I think I said 8 laps, I meant 10 laps. Okay, so we're going to do 10 laps there. And that's what run is going to do. Once you've got that done, compile and run it, and what you will see are 4 robots running simultaneously. So it kind of looks something like this. Alright, so I got lab 14 here. As you can see, I've got 4 robots, and there they go. They're just all 4 are running at the same time and doing their laps. Pretty cool. Alright, and that's lab 14. If you've got any questions or comments or anything, please let me know.